afternoon. It's the final session of an amazing Fit and Healthy Week brought to you by Mainline Today and Independence Blue Cross. I'm Tanya Stroh, the host of MyFitnessRx. So here it is, the premiere episode of our brand new 7th season. So sit back, grab a healthy snack, and enjoy the show. It's all about proper mechanics. Meet Tracy Peel, a sports movement specialist. An important word from the CEO and president of Pottstown Hospital Tower Health about COVID-19. In our Be Happy segment, it's all about bees. Honeybees. Sunday leftovers make Taco Tuesdays. A healthy minute, a quick tip, and exercise of the week, all in today's episode. I'm Tanya Stroh, a certified personal trainer and healthy living expert. One thing I've learned is fitness isn't just exercise. Healthy living is more than working out and eating well. It's about balance. Don't force exercises that are boring. Don't eat food you don't like. Don't let fear hold you back. Life is about living on your terms. So we put it all together on your and my MyFitnessRx. Tracy, when you're working with athletes, your first goal is to improve their movement. So you usually do that with biomechanics and gravity.
Yes, like foundationally, you want to improve their mechanics first before adding anything like, speed, conditioning, those types of metrics. So I'm looking at how do they move initially, and then what corrections I have to make that much more efficient.
So what are you looking at when you watch them move?
I'm looking at, their foot strike. I'm looking at, where's their body when their foot touches the ground. I'm looking at whether they're interrupting the free falling that occurs in movement. And I'm also then judging a little bit their postural mechanics as they're moving. So
now the better we move, the least likely we are to injure ourselves? How does that work?
I think most overuse injuries, I would say 100% of overuse injuries are related to the pounding and the impact and the forces and the bad mechanics that runners have, or even team sport athletes have. So we're trying to improve that and help those athletes then perform without the same injury.
What are some sports-specific movements aside from running?
I mean, I've worked with everyone from springboard divers to an archer to a football player to lacrosse athletes, shooting into a net. So I'm able to take what I've learned, from my mentors in life and apply that to athletes in different sports.
So what about shoulders? What are we looking for in shoulders? A baseball pitcher.
Baseball pitcher, I actually have a few baseball pitchers I've worked with. What I'm looking for is, how they load and unload. And so the problem is with the baseball pitcher, with all the injuries that they get with, Tommy John surgeries, is that if they're unloading or pitching way after their body is unloaded, then there's a lot more stress on the arm. So it's got to be that combination of when the body is ready to fall and use their body weight to throw a ball.
So we were talking earlier, Tracy, and you used the example of a toddler. Yes. I love that.
Well, kids up to the age of 5, kind of intuitive, how to work with gravity. So if you watch a toddler, they're falling and they're picking up their feet, and, right. They don't fight it. And then what happens is we start to learn mechanics from, our parents or from, our siblings or our friends, and then that kind of changes the dynamic a little bit.
So really look in the mirror and see how you're standing, how you're walking, how you're moving against gravity.
Yeah, I mean, all those things are necessary to evaluate. You want to understand the structure of the body, how aligned it is, and in your movement, you want to be able to use the energy that gravity gives you.
Great information, Tracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it.
If you are experiencing any kind of foot pain, or perhaps you've had a history of plantar fasciitis or other injuries, the 6-point foot release is a great way to really improve your symptoms, but also prevent any occurrences of foot pain, knee pain, and even hip pain. Oftentimes when we are wearing socks and shoes, we're blocking all of the information that comes into our body. So what we really want to think about is stimulating the small nerves on the bottom of our feet that respond to all different things. So to do the 6-point foot release, you'll just need a small ball, so around a golf-sized ball, and we're going to go through 6 points on the foot. So to do that, the first one will be right behind the ball of the foot. You want to start with just a gentle pressure, it does not have to be deep, holding it for about 20 seconds. Then you'll slightly move to the arch of the foot. This will be where the plantar fascia is, so sometimes that can be tender for some people. Then we're going to move to the inside of the heel. So sometimes you have to turn your foot in just ever so slightly. That's where the plantar fascia attaches. If you have any acute symptoms, you'd want to really make sure you do it with a very mild pressure. And then we're going to go to the outside of the foot here. So a lot of times if you have more of a flat foot, this could be a little bit tighter in the spot. Then we'll go to the inside of the foot here. Oftentimes if you have more of a higher arched foot, you can have some sensitivity in this spot. And then lastly, it'll be right behind your big toe joint. And you could do this daily. A great tip is to really use this and use it every day and put it in your bathroom where it's something that you can see every day and you can do it while you're brushing your teeth or getting ready in the morning.
Patients should absolutely feel safe if they need to come to the hospital for any of their medical needs. What we've seen across the country, and we've experienced here at Pottstown, is patients' fear is creating major problems. Fear of coming to the hospital for fear of getting COVID-19. They're actually delaying their care, and we've seen an uptick in the number of patients dying at home from things that we could have helped them with and potentially could have saved them and prevented those deaths. We take cleaning extremely serious here. We have a high-level cleaning going on throughout the day in all the patient-populated areas, all in any visitor areas. We have a special cleaning crew that comes through and wipes down the doors, the door handles, the chairs, anywhere that patients are interacting with staff. It's much safer inside the hospital than it is at the grocery store or the gas station or anywhere else that people are going to make sure that they're able to live their lives. But again, I cannot reiterate enough how important it is that if you have signs and symptoms of a serious situation that you not wait, that we're here to help you and it will be safe and we'll take care of you.
The natural world is amazing. Nature's sweet treat machine, honeybees. Next. So here I am among thousands of honeybees with beekeeper Frank Ruthkowski. Frank, how many bees approximately are around us in all these hives?
In the 16 hives that are here in this yard, we have over 600,000 honeybees.
Oh my goodness. So we're not going to get stung because we have the smoke.
We have smoke to inhibit the bees' communication, and we're wearing all of our protective clothing, so we should be in good shape to look at a couple hives today.
So now why are some short, some tall, some have different numbers of boxes?
Well, right now the bees are making honey, and the two deep boxes on a hive are where the bees live, and where the queen is and where they raise their brood. Any other boxes that are above the two deep boxes are where the bees store honey that is extra, that they don't need, that we're going to be able to take.
So what, is there a queen in this?
There is. This is a great hive for us to start with because we won't have as many bees to go through in order to look at the brood and look at the queen. And this is a good place to start. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we have our smoke ready to go. This is the outer cover.
Okay.
Like the roof of your house.
All right.
And this is the inner cover.
There's a lot of bees in there
which is like the roof.
Oh my goodness.
So here's the inside of the colony where we have
And they're honeycombs.
where we have a feeder, and we have 9 more frames where the bees.
And the smoke doesn't harm them?
It doesn't harm them. It just protects us and inhibits their communication. We'll pull out a frame here and see what.
How do you know where the queen is?
Well, we don't know where she is, but we'll take a look around and figure it out. In here we have our frame with the hexagon cells. all beeswax, and the shiny stuff that we see in here is all nectar. And on some of the bees, like this one right here, there's orange pollen on on her back legs.
Yeah, I see it.
The bees are bringing in pollen this time of year.
So now the bees have different jobs in the hives?
They do. About half of the bees in the colony are foragers, which means they'll bring back pollen, nectar, water, or propolis.
And that would be the one that we saw with the orange.
All these different colored cells are pollen, so you can see the difference in the yellow and the tan and the orange. Mm-hmm. The white, pearly white color in here are young bees that are in a larval stage, so they're going to become baby bees. And all these cap cells right here, these are pupae that will emerge as young bees soon, in the next few days. The capped cells that are up here are capped honey. So if we were to scratch through this beeswax surface,
that's the honey.
This is the honey right here.
Oh wow!
And if I put it here, the bees,
are you going to get stung?
We'll put it back. Oh no. I get stung maybe every day, but only once or twice, and it's not that bad when you're used to it.
Now, are most of them male or female?
Here's one coming out of a cell right here. This is just being born.
Oh, being born.
Yep, she's chewing her way out. The majority of these are female bees. I don't see any drones. So when this one emerges, it'll be a little lighter in color.
That's amazing.
And it'll take a few days for her to be ready to.
What's their lifespan?
In the summertime, the honeybee might live about 6 weeks. And the reason that it lives 6 weeks is just it works so hard that after it forages for a few weeks, it wears out its wings and dies. But in the wintertime, when they're not flying,
wintertime, what happens?
So here's our queen.
Oh wow!
She's a little different than the rest of the bees.
Bigger.
Yep, she's bigger, and she's looking for clean cells that they have ready for her to lay her eggs.
So how many eggs does a queen lay?
Well, again, it depends on the time of the year. Sometimes she doesn't lay many at all, like in maybe November, because by the time they hatch, there's not much work for those bees to do. So she'll take a brood break around the month of November and maybe into December, and then she can lay as many as 2,000 eggs a day.
Oh my goodness!
It depends on really the length of daylight. The queen in the colony know what tasks to perform depending on the time of year and whether the days are getting longer or shorter.
Yeah, you had said that if the queen doesn't produce as many eggs or babies, they get rid of her.
Yeah, it's the colony that controls itself. So if this queen is not performing, they will take a fertilized egg that she lays and make it into another queen, and this queen will get killed by the colony, and the new queen will take over.
How much honey do you get?
Well, in the course of a year, you get somewhere between 80 and 100 pounds per hive. So it could be 4 or 5 tons of honey over the course of the year. The spring honey is a lot lighter and clearer than the fall honey is. So we have more honey. There's about, in each of these boxes, when they're full, it's about 35 pounds of honey.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
35 pounds. This is always something that I've wanted to learn so much more about. Frank, this was just fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing your bees with me.
You're welcome.
It's amazing.
So I wanted to talk a moment about what happens when you're diagnosed with cancer and how we go about determining what the right treatment is. And part of the way we do that is through using an interdisciplinary approach. Oftentimes when we have somebody diagnosed with cancer, we'll have a tumor board or a multidisciplinary conference where we sit down and we'll present the patient and talk about who they are, no names, it's all HIPAA compliant. We will talk about their diagnosis, their medical history. We'll look at the slides of the biopsies, of the CAT scans, of any important blood tests that were obtained. And then we'll talk about that patient and look at what's called the NCCN guidelines, which are sort of a recommendation of how we would go about treating a patient depending on what their disease is. And it's important to have that plan mapped out in the beginning. That way we know where we're going to go. Plus it helps the patient have a sense of understanding of what their disease is and how that's going to be handled, and gives them the confidence that they know what is going on today, tomorrow, and what the future will hold, and what those benchmarks are. And in doing so, that usually helps the patient get a better sense of what the overall picture is, which gives them a sense of security and understanding, and that is very helpful for them and for the family.
Sunday dinner leftovers or Taco Tuesday? Up next.
So what's better than Sunday dinner? Taco Tuesday. So what we did for Sunday dinner, we had a lovely pot roast. Served it with mashed potatoes, delicious. But what are we gonna do with the extra? Okay, we don't wanna have the same thing all week. So what we're gonna do today is slow cook pot roast quesadillas, all right? We're going to take our tortilla, we're gonna place it on our griddle. And this is going to be a one-stop shop because we don't wanna have a lot of dishes, and for the sake of time, we are just going to keep it super simple. So we are going to take our shredded cheese and place that on our tortilla. All right, we want to spread it around, nice even, and put a nice generous amount on there. The more cheddar, the better. Okay. While you're doing that, you want to take your beef, okay, and you're going to put that on the griddle as well, so that you're able to, again, one-stop shop, melt the cheese, heat up the beef. We're gonna take a little bit of our taco seasoning essence, hit that there, a little bit of olive oil. And you wanna do this around 350 degrees on your griddle, on your flat top. All right, so once you get the beef heated up, you wanna transfer that over to your tortilla. Help the cheese melt a little bit, and then you're gonna get a nice, even melt right over here. So a couple minutes to heat up your leftover pot roast. Place it right on one side, because what we're gonna do is we are gonna fold that over to make your quesadilla. And you can put any toppings in here that you like. Do salsa, hot sauce, tomatoes. What we have here today is a little bit of cherry tomatoes that we chopped up. Okay, we're gonna put that there. A little fresh cilantro that we're just gonna break up. Make it look real pretty. You're also going to take some avocado, and don't worry, the guac's not extra. And after we let that go for like another minute or two, cheese is perfectly melted. We're gonna hit it off again with a little taco essence. Tongs, we're gonna fold that over. Oh yeah, it looks great. And you can see right there, everything's coming together. Cheese is melting perfectly. We're gonna give it a little flip. Golden brown on each side. Wait till that cheese is ooey gooey delicious. And the best part about that is that this will serve 2 to 3 people. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut it right in 4s. Perfect. Serve with a little Spanish rice, a little lime, a little lettuce. So Sunday dinner, in about 5 minutes, turned into Taco Tuesday. There you go.
Stay with us for the exercise of the week with men's physique champ, Antoine Powers, and my closing thoughts when we come back. As Tracy Peel pointed out, with the proper mechanics, you can develop the optimal speed for a winning season. Who knew you could get a foot massage from a golf ball? Many thanks to the doctors at Phoenixville and Pottstown hospitals for taking the time to help keep us informed and keep us healthy. Thanks to Chef Jason for a tasty leftover Taco Tuesday. And finally, I have to admit, I had my doubts about me and 600,000 bees occupying the same space at the same time. But it was amazing and wonderful. I can't thank Frank and the bees from Exton Bee Company enough. That's it for this week. Next week, we're off to another adventure. But until then, I'm your host, Tanya Stroh, and here's your exercise of the week. It's a rear deltoid raise. Thanks for the demo, Antoine. Be fit, be healthy, be happy. COVID-19 turned the lights out on Broadway, but Dave Ogren and Jay Burkhout had another idea. The show must go on. So some 60 Broadway stars and an equal number of singing healthcare workers got together remotely. And here it is, the Resilient Project.
Hey Dave,
Hey Jay.
canceled my trip to New York. We're postponing the reading.
I know. But you know that song Resilient that we wrote from the show? I think that could be an incredible inspirational ballad for the COVID-19 situation.
You are right. Let's call Stephen DeAngelis.
He could find us an incredible cast of Broadway talent, and I think I could find us some singing healthcare workers.
Okay, I'm gonna get in touch with Broadway Cares, and we'll look up the American College of Emergency Physicians and the Emergency Nurses Association.
And we can make a video.
Do you know how to do that?
No!
When the battle swords are drawn and it feels like the final dawn, the key
is to be resilient. When all options seem perverse,
every day goes from bad to worse,
then we need to be resilient.
never swerve and never bend.
We'll survive this in the end,
and the world
we'll shine again and be brilliant.
Be brilliant.
This is war, a raging tide,
And we're all on each other's side. Agree, we will be resilient. Never swerve and never bend. We'll survive this in the end, and the world will shine again and be brilliant.
No, mine went right. At the end.
Wow, what a wonderful week of workouts and information from our area's top experts. A big thank you to Mainline Today and our presenting sponsor, Independence Blue Cross, for hosting such a great event. We certainly enjoyed all the sessions, and we hope you did too. So stay in touch and keep following, because we're planning more new and exciting fitness events for the future. Remember, you can check out the FitFests page at mainlinetoday.com for all the sessions that aired this week. I'm Tanya Stroh, the host of My Fitness RX. Be fit, be healthy, be happy.